Welcome back to the InterCellar POD, where we get below the surface and help you build a foundation of hope, one conversation at the time. At a time. Keeping it fresh in the basement. All right. This is William.
I'm
here
Annie.
with Annie and my wife, my beautiful bride, my
Oh
betrothed.
yeah, we got married, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
It's all a haze to me.
All right, let me hit you with the intro. Okay. Music was indeed playing. What? Wait. Hang on. Here, say something in your mic.
Blah.
Oh, no.
La.
There we go. Sorry for your ears, folks. We're back on track. You wanna know what I did while we were trying to set up our podcast? I have never done this. I don't think ever. I was trying to get the camera to work.
Don't break the fourth wall.
Well, but they need to know this.
They're gonna listen to what you tell me.
All right. So yeah, but okay. All right. So basically, I was trying to get the camera thing working, and it wasn't working. And I was like, "What is going on?" And I'm like figuring out things out and looking and whatnot because it's been a while since I turned all this on, and I eventually discover that I stuck the USB into the Ethernet port. You shouldn't be able to do that, but I did somehow because like the laptops have the little stretchy Ethernet port. Anyway, all right.
You know what I was thinking about when I was making tea? While I was waiting for you to plug it into the Ethernet.
I don't know.
I was thinking about the fact that I'm breaking the fourth wall. That's not what I was thinking about, though.
We just want to
that's just kind of how we do.
Just want to engage with the camera.
We just want to talk to you guys face to face, eyeball
What
to
do you
eyeball.
think? Do we have an unhealthy habit of talking to the screen?
You look at it like. Anyway,
think so.
I was thinking about the fact that you know how they say when you fall in love that all the love songs make sense and stuff. When we fell in love, none of the love songs made sense.
Except for the weird ones that we liked, which did make sense.
Yeah, but like, the reason I was thinking about that was because I heard the song Lover by Taylor Swift recently, and I listened to that song before we were dating, and I was like, oh my goodness, someday I'm going to love this song. I'm going to play it for my man. Ah! And then I heard it this evening, and I was just like, ugh. Anyway.
Most of the love songs...
I'm not hating on love songs, but they just don't do our relationship justice.
Most of the love songs that we listen to that we both were like, yeah. Or like were like really good ones and they were done by Christian artists.
What are our love songs?
Let's see.
We love the song Forever by Grey Havens.
That one is good.
That one is so good.
I was surprised that you liked that one because some of the Grey Haven ones you were kind of like, what?
Guess who's going to hear them live?
We are.
So excited about that. Anyway, yeah, that was a random thought that I had while I was making tea. And so maybe here's my advice to you. Don't marry the guy that makes all the love songs make sense. Ouch. Marry the one that's just better than any of the love songs.
Yeah.
Everyone's
like,
idea. You are making absolutely no sense right now, and that is because it is late. And
I will say on the flip side of all of that, for the guys, like, it is true that when you get married, like... The things that before you were like, ew, kudos. Like suddenly, like different movies and different things, like you actually like, wow, I actually appreciate this now. Like I understand it more, especially like now, maybe not like the chick flicks exactly, but like the deeper like romance movies. It's like, oh wow, like there's actually like a lot of heart to this.
I got a really good man because he really does watch pretty much everything with me, except there's a few things that I mean we've talked about movies before here, so obviously I'm not talking about like Dum Dums, but some of our favorites are actually kind of more chick flicky. But they actually have good storylines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or sometimes it's just for the laughs.
Anyway, so sorry for everyone who just is grossing out over the ASMR of me with my tea over here because I'm being very extra with my
You can.
slurping.
Oh wait, do you have to hold it? Sorry, I just don't know what to do with my hands here. If I hold it like this, there's a penguin staring deeply into my soul every time I take a sip. So I try to turn around, but then that's kind of weird with the mic here. I can't see where my hand is.
So let's talk about mice.
Yeah. So this is kind of this has to do with me a little bit because I had a little come to Jesus moment over the Christmas season.
That's come to Jesus moment
Yeah.
number 5,274 in this house.
Yes. That is why we have this random object here in the back. For those that are listening online, we have a
Vase.
vase.
A
That is the
vase.
word. A glass vase. Vase. Valalala. So basically, quiet computer. This is not your moment. So basically, we've had a couple of issues recently. And the part where I got frustrated
Give them the skinny.
was basically for and the guys can understand me on this. Like you get your weekend time, and if you work like me, sometimes it's one day because you work a Saturday. And so then you have that one day, and then you have like when it's a maintenance thing on the house that takes all day long and then some, it's just kind of sucks it out of you a little bit because it's just like, ah. But anyway, but at the same time, it is fulfilling work because it's like like for example, recently I fixed the toilet paper attacher to the wall thinger, and every time that I pull toilet paper off there now, I'm just like, that is a job well done. Good job, sir. That thing's not coming off. The end times are coming, but that toilet paper roll is gonna be there. I don't know. Anyway, basically, long story short, we have had like 10 to 14 mice in this house.
Wait, really? Up to 14?
Somewhere around there. It's like 10 to 14,
I
give or
would
take.
just like to defend my housekeeping for a little bit.
It is just the house itself.
I do my absolute best to not give the mice anything they want in the house and keep everything squeaky clean.
Well, the thing is, I don't even know
if you
that
didn't get that, your brain is better than mine.
I don't even know that they even wanted anything. It's warm. They knew the lay of the land. I'm pretty sure there was a whole dynasty of mice that lived here before us. And for a while now, we've been like, all right, well, there's an issue. But like now, like the poop is starting to like show up a lot. And we're like, what in the world? It's getting colder out. The mice are
Yeah, it just started happening. So what
inviting
happened?
their relatives in.
What happened?
Their uncles and their aunts.
The family reunion needs to end.
Uncle Squeakapoo needs to find a new lodging. All right?
In the summertime, it was mosquitoes. We all had like 500 mosquito bites the whole summer. And the very thought of it makes me itchy.
But we're not talking about mosquitoes
No,
right
but
now.
I'm saying like that was our summer pest. And then it got cold. The mosquitoes went away. And the mice said, it is our time.
Yes.
They put their face paint on and they said, charge! Just like Braveheart, but mice.
So the good news is, like humans, creatures of habit. That's what I was going for. I don't know what route I was going to go there. Basically, my wife and I typically were sitting down on the couch in the evening, relaxing after the baby's down, all this stuff. We started seeing a mouse go across the floor consistently. Same pattern every night from the bathroom. And that's what kind of started this whole adventure. And I started looking at...
It was every night at the same
Yeah,
time.
so I
It took
started
the
looking
same
at
path.
the vents, and I was like, what's going on here? Like, can they squeeze through these vents? They're very tight, but maybe they can. All this stuff. And in conjunction with that, I also was realizing that because our cellar here also connects to the... there's just some weird airflow situations going on. So basically, the end of it was that for humidity's sake and for heating of the house, I needed to seal off the underhouse space, crawl space.
Crawl space.
Because it's kind of connected to the basement, so it kind of is the basement. So, but also we're trying to figure out where the mice is. So it's kind of a combined effort. So Like the only entrance under the crawl space, like I had to breathe out to get through. That's how tight it was. And once you get under there, you're just crawling around. And I jokingly told my wife it's like an Indiana Jones movie down here. Like there's cobwebs and stuff, and I'm like
But
crawling
like
through.
also, you're not like an overly chunky man.
No,
So
no, I
if
am
you
not.
had to breathe out to get through that,
I honestly don't know
say-
how. Like I had to wiggle my hips. I had to do a little hip wiggle to get through. So yeah. And there's two different entrances to the crawl space, but that's the only one I could fit through. And so, and then, yeah. So I
Is
just
that
did a lot of.
considered even a crawl space? I feel like that's just considered a crack under the house. But
I mean, once you got under, it was like a crawl space.
okay.
Yeah.
okay.
So once you get under, you're crawling around and whatnot. Found the problem. One of the air ducts had completely separated, so the mice could just walk nilly-willy right into the house, go up through the bigger vents. And they're just
Said Nilly Willy.
I don't know.
Willy nilly.
Oh. Well, in this case, the mouse name was Nilly. Nilly and Willy, they were the other relatives, and they needed not to come into the house, all
Can
right?
we just move on past the mic?
So, or we're getting there. All right, so we wrap it all up, and we get that all fixed, and I also, we discover that our gas heater was sucking air from the basement instead of an outside vent, and also the vent was not right where it was blowing the exhaust in the basement. It was the whole thing. So did a bunch of maintenance on it. Took a long time. I was so exhausted.
He worked so hard.
And I think we had some progress there. Immediately we noticed the mice like being way worse, if that makes sense. I think because they couldn't get in and out, like they were
We caught
confused.
3 in one
And
day.
yeah, so we were catching them in the live traps. And
Let's not go into all of the ways we caught them.
Yes. It's a long story.
It's traumatizing.
But
he sealed up underneath
so
the
that-
house,
that-
and he found something very, very special.
oh yes, so back to the Indiana Jones thing. So I'm crawling around under there, and I'm like, oh yeah, just trying to think the best of the whole situation. I
At
find
least
this
there's not
vase.
snakes.
I find this vase under there, and I'm like, dude, it's not a crack in it. Like it's crazy. I don't know what in the world.
You
Keep
could put
crawling
my Valentine's
around.
flowers in there.
Crawling around, and I was putting on this plastic to help basically the moisture not come up from the ground, and I was rolling that out, and I'm going along, and then all of a sudden, straight out of an Indiana Jones movie, I find Fluffy. So the previous the previous owner had cats and was a cat owner, and Fluffy here, rest his soul, is no more.
That was not a cross. That was
was
some
a-
kind of dark magic symbol.
I'm sorry. What was that? That was a question
That was
mark.
like a loop-de-loop.
So
For those of you not watching, he just tried to cross himself like a Catholic, but it
with
did
my
not.
left hand, but it's like turned weird.
It was
like
not
a
right.
claw.
I'm sorry to all the Catholics
Hey, that's what
out there.
that's what his paw looked like. So, but anyway, so Fluffy was no more, and I'm just suddenly like, it's like that moment you're like you're crawling around your hands and knees, and suddenly you're face to face with something, and then you realize what it is, and immediately you're just like, what? And it was just a mummified cat. Yeah, I had to move it out of my way because of the plastic situation. And the whole thing moved at once. So
Okay.
that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Moving on.
Okay.
Moving
Okay.
on. So, the next week after that, and this is where the kind of come to Jesus moment comes in a little bit. Our washer kicks the bucket. The one that you heard previously.
You will hear no more.
Yeah, you will hear no more.
May it rest in peace. See, that's how you cross yourself. Well, actually, I did it with my left hand
I'm
too. So
just gonna crisscross
we are never going to be
applesauce and
Catholics.
put some glasses on while I'm at it. Help me see
We're
better.
never going to be Catholics. They would hate us.
So, needless to say, I was quite frustrated at like another thing breaking. But what I learned for afterwards and was basically, I don't know. I feel like I've grown since then, like in a just kind of more relaxed, more like, everything's going to work out. It's going to be fine. We were kind of tight on funds at the moment. It was not a great time for the washer to break down. And like with one vehicle, there's just issues. Like it's just not easy to navigate all that. But we ended up having two friends from church who just like loved on us and helped us out with the whole situation. And like they were willing to help us track down a washer and bring it in a truck. And we ended up getting a brand new washer from Lowe's because it was on a really good deal. And it came with delivery and all of that. But regardless, they came over. We had a really fun just fellowship time with them here. And I don't know. It was one of those things where it was like, I didn't want to deal with all that stuff. Like I didn't want to, I don't know. But I feel like I am learning to be more okay with, like just flowing with things and being like, I mean, I remember sitting on the couch being frustrated and you looked at me and you're just like, you're like, it's an adventure. Think of it like an adventure. And I'm like, I don't want an adventure.
Yeah. That was
and
funny. I was well, too bad. Put your Indiana Jones suit on,
yeah,
and
basically.
we're going on an adventure.
I think it starts with being in the right mindset to begin with. Like, if you're not in the right mindset to begin with, then when a issue comes up, it's kind of like it just knocks you over because you don't have your footing. You're not already in an okay place. And it's not about being up and down. It's like about just being in that like even keel, like everything's gonna be okay.
I felt a lot of frustration recently with the norm that is, I'm having a good day, I'm having a bad day, I'm having a good day, I'm having a bad day. Like I'm struggling today about this and this and this. I'm struggling tomorrow with this and this and this, and like the struggle bus. I just think that like Christians really need to kick the struggle buses, and I just feel really, I feel strongly about that because I feel like we just spend most of our time talking about our struggles, and there is so much more to life than struggling through it and making it through, and Lord help us, Jesus come soon. So,
yep.
I think we have learned through a lot of the things that have been thrown our way recently, including what all he just talked about, that looking at it as an adventure and also coming at it from a place of peace and that it will be all okay. It literally relieves so much off of you when you just say, no, I'm not going to be anxious. No, I'm not going to worry. No, I'm not going to let this make me grumpy. No, I'm not going to get all uptight and upset and turn on my spouse because this is stressful. Choosing to be peaceful about it, it is just a choice, and how you get to there is lifting the truth up over your feelings. Something that I have been really bad at, but that I'm walking into being really good at, is not listening to my feelings and pretending they don't exist. So don't do that. What I'm learning in meditation is you acknowledge that feeling is there, and then you say, okay, that feeling is there. Now, what is the truth? And then you speak the truth, and you let that feeling pass. So what I was doing was, that feeling's there, shove, 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 and I never dealt with it. But I learned in meditation, and I'm learning to do this, is that, okay, right now I'm feeling angry. What's the truth about my situation right now and why I'm feeling angry? Okay, we figured that out. Now let's let it pass. Let's let go of it. And I think that's really powerful.
And sometimes you can't let go. Like sometimes it's just a like, oh, okay. Like I just hadn't thought of that. I'm going to let it go now. I kind of let it build up. But a lot of times, like if it's something you literally are like, I don't know how to let go of this, then that's when the exchange comes in. The great exchange is
Well,
you.
that's pretty much what she was saying in meditation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, either way,
I
like
think she said though, let it like you basically acknowledge it. Yes, that's here. Okay, what's the truth? Okay, move on or let it go.
mm-hmm.
But I guess what you're saying is like, okay, you almost could picture yourself like, okay, I have this anger that I'm holding in my
Mm-hmm.
hand. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know how to get rid of it. I just feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And you acknowledge that that you have anger in your hand, and then you give it to Jesus or lay it at the cross, and then picture yourself walking away, leaving it there, and instead of picking the anger up and taking it back with you, you're taking the blood back with you, or you're taking peace back with you, or you're taking surrender back with you. It's like that
Mm.
exchange at the foot of the cross that happens.
Yeah. I guess for me, like I just really have to focus on the exchange because I've had trouble like letting go of things,
Well, and the
and
thing is, if
I
you let go of it and don't replace it with anything, guess what? It's going to come back even worse than what it was before.
right, you can't truly let go of anything if you don't have the truth to replace
Replace
it.
it. Yeah, that's
And I
good.
really like I sought God about that a lot in the sense of like I was like, God, I feel like my hands are open to you, but it just feels like things are just stuck to my hands. Like I can't, like how do I give them to you? And really it comes down in the simple form. It's just the more you know Him, the more that you can let go of things to Him because ultimately what's happening is you're receiving the truth. You're letting go of a lie, you're receiving the truth. But it doesn't always have to be a massive battle because the more that you know him, the more that it's like, oh, an easy surrender because like I know him and I'm just turning to him and I know who he is.
And I know
But
that what I'm going to, and I know that when I give this up, what I'm going to get in exchange is going to be way, way better.
yeah.
And I want to just touch on something you said. You said you're exchanging a lie. Not to say that your emotions are lies. Your
Right.
emotions are real.
Yeah.
And for a long time, I was like, oh, emotions. Like I'm too good for those. I just push them. I just don't. I just say no. But really, what I was doing was just pushing them down and not acknowledging them. And
We've dealt with a lot. Like I feel like that's something in our relationship that we've grown on over time, but it had been one of um the key things that we both worked through together in our relationship
like right at
was
the beginning,
not stuffing things.
right at the beginning,
And yeah.
right at the beginning. Okay. Well, no, because I just remember when we first became friends and we were talking a lot of really deep stuff. And well, right away I could not keep talking to him unless I knew that we were basically had a purpose for what we were talking for all the talking and going deep because I didn't want to bare my heart to somebody who I wasn't going to actually have a relationship with or marry someday. So we had that conversation. But then the Holy Spirit told me, you cannot hide and stuff things with this guy. Like, you've got to be dead honest all the time. Right at the beginning. So, like, from the beginning, there's been little to no stuffing. And if there is stuffing, you're like, I see you stuffing. What do you need to talk
Yeah.
about?
I mean, it's come
Because
around.
sometimes it's like habitual. Like, it's like you just do it without even thinking. It's like your first resort. And especially if you haven't been taught from that your voice is important and it matters. And I was taught that, but there was a lot of things that I didn't think my voice mattered about, or I just didn't want to talk about, or there was lots of reasons.
Hmm.
But I think I'm getting off on a bushy trail. So
You seem like you want to talk about it though. So if you have more things
what?
that you want to say,
I want to circle back to the struggle bus because I feel like I was very harsh with all of the people who are snuggled in their seats on the struggle bus and have their luggage stowed away and are eating the cookies and drinking the coffee right now on the struggle bus. So I feel like I need to talk to them because I feel like I was really mean to them and I kind of just like shouted over the loudspeaker and they probably all spilled their tea and choked on their cookies. So I don't know where it's going. But the reason I say that we need to kick the struggle bus is because I rode the struggle bus for so long that I think the seat I was sitting on is like threadbare now. And so I feel like I can be I can be bad cop. Is that you moving or was that something
Yeah, it was
back
me.
here?
It's my
Oh,
foot.
okay, okay. Um I feel like I can be bad cop because I was on the struggle bus for a long time. So basically, with our situation, we have one car and William takes it to work because man's got to work. And our current situation and with his recent job change, he is on the road for anywhere from 2 to 3 to 4 hours a day, plus working 8-hour days. So it can be anywhere from 10 to 12 hours that he's gone during the day. So since Zadok, our son, was very little, I've been at home most of the time. And for until he was about 5 months, do you think? I pretty much just didn't know. I just was on the struggle bus with it.
Yeah,
Did you say
that's
five
fair.
months?
Yeah,
Now
4 or 5.
now know that this whole time I'm so grateful to be a mom. I love being a mom. I absolutely adore our son. So it's not that I'm hating being a mom or I'm struggling with being a mom. I would say the struggle was I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm all by myself. I have to stay home. This is like a prison to me. I just have to be here day after day after day after day. I'm just struggling with this. I'm struggling with this so bad. Why do I have to be here every single day? And I can't go anywhere. And I can't go be with my friends. And I can't take my friends that are having babies meals. And I can't go take care of this person and meet this person for coffee. Like, I love investing in people through time spent with them and through giving them things. And I love just showing up on someone's door with a coffee or, like stuff like that is what I love to do. So I just like basically picture me sitting in my house, just kicking the door saying, why? That was pretty, pretty much.
Accurate.
And so, now, here's a very important detail that I forgot to put in there is that our house is 415 square feet. So it's kind of like living your life in a closet, which, now hear me out. I don't know when this happened, but at some point I decided that I was a joy grabber and I was grateful. I was just going to be grateful for I'm just going to gratitude everywhere. Gratitude for this, gratitude for that. Gratitude is like I'm living with my head in a cloud of gratitude and that's just going to stay there. When did I decide that?
I don't even know
What
because
happened?
I kind of found out more hindsight. You were just like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm doing this like 20.
Well, that wasn't even when it happened for me, for real, I don't think.
Okay.
I mean, that was part of it, and I never even finished that. I did like maybe 2 weeks, and then I
Yeah.
petered out a little bit, or most of the bit. But anyway, when I don't know when it happened. I don't know what happened, but I just decided gratitude was my weapon, and just started being grateful. When I would get up and start thinking to myself, oh, I'm stuck here. I'm so annoyed. I'm stuck here. What am I going to do? I'm so grateful for a cozy house. I'm so grateful for a healthy baby. I'm so grateful that I get to be here. I'm so grateful that I'm healthy. I'm so grateful for the groceries in my cabinet and my fridge. I'm so grateful for a husband who loves me. I'm so grateful for the money that he's out making right now. I'm so grateful for the safety of him on the road. I'm so grateful for the coffee I had this morning that was so yummy and it was organic and, just little things like that. And, the list goes on and on and on and little things would happen in my day. And suddenly I was not on the struggle bus anymore. The struggle bus had drove off into the sunset and left me in my gratitude cloud all by myself. And, I am so much happier and more and just content now. And I'm not and it's like becoming more and more and more rooted in me, that just deep gratitude and joy. But it happened because I decided to choose it every day over and over and over again. And what's awesome and what I was not expecting is the joy that is kind of the consequence of gratitude is joy.
Mm-hmm.
It just comes when you're grateful.
So I feel like just kind of tying a lot of things in this episode so far together here. We're when we're talking about getting off the struggle bus, we're not saying that there aren't struggles, and like we were talking about earlier, it's not about stuffing the struggles either. So it's like the struggles are real, emotions are real, things are hard. We are currently like like I know that when you stare through the lens on YouTube or whatever of anything, it always looks better than it actually is. Like we're sitting in our cellar right now that the walls are flaking off and kind of falling apart, and there's mice, and we have a washer and dryer and a janky setup and a bunch of random stuff like piled behind us. And so it's not about everything being perfect. It's not about like, and it's not about, okay, there's problems, but we're just going to stuff it and pretend it doesn't
We're gonna
happen.
pretend they don't exist.
It's about, okay, like there's always something to be thankful for. There's always something, and there's always a truth to set you free.
And can I just say, pretty much nothing about my situation has changed. In fact, it's probably worse.
Yeah, because I'm actually driving farther distances now.
Right. I have become more happy and joyful since he is driving farther. That sounds hilarious. Like, I'm so glad he's gone more. I'm happy. That's not at all. We absolutely treasure every single bit of time we can get together.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is all of the things that I struggle best on so bad for so long are still a reality and more so. But I don't even know the struggle bus anymore because I'm just like, every single day I just have this cloud of gratitude around me, and I don't, when I wake up, I don't see the struggles most of the time as much as if I do see them, but they have a teeny tiny little voice, and gratitude is like on the loudspeaker, like dun 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 in the morning when I wake up. And I just truly love where I'm at. Like, I love my little house, and I love watching my son grow up, and I love my little life in my 415 square feet that I stay in most of the time. And I'm honestly a little nervous about when we move in the near future and when I start getting out in the world more, because I think I might have forgotten how to do that.
You'll do just fine.
I'm like coming out of prison. It's like, what year is it? What's going on, guys?
We both truly feel that we're in the place we are right now to learn to, because this would not have been our pick of place, but it has been the hugest blessing in all of the ways that you wouldn't think of first. Like, and it's grown us in, just I mean, like you're talking about, just a deep gratitude and thankfulness. And I think something even recently that's for both of us that God's been working on, and I think it's all preparation for us as a family and for the future, is just this, like, in order to be grateful, in order to be intentional, in order to be hopeful amidst a ungreat situation, you have to slow down enough to appreciate that. And that's something that also happened for me with having to drive farther, is it's like I had to slow down, like, even more, so to speak.
I'm coming to this altar call, baby.
I had to slow down.
I'm waving the white hanky over here.
Even more on the drives, and it gave me a lot more time to think and reflect. And there's just been a lot in the last couple months that we've both just been like, wow, there's just always something to appreciate. Zadok started to do things like trying to walk or like different things like that, and he's
just
curious
started to be
and stuff.
extremely ridiculously cute.
And so that also adds to this idea of just like
Not
us
like
just
he wasn't before.
realizing, like, man, like there's just amazing things to appreciate that if we just take the time to stop and be like, wow, like that's really awesome. It's not, it's
Taking the time is the key word
here.
there.
So backing up a little bit, this is maybe someone needs to hear this. Like when Annie's talking about gratitude, you can do fake gratitude and it's called stuffing again. Like you can do a fake gratitude like, no, I'm so grateful, like everything's great, but in reality, like you're really just stuffing. You're not actually dealing with things. You're not actually letting go. It's like, no, I'm going to be grateful, but I'm also going to hang on to all of this stuff that it's our thing turning on. I'm going to hang on to all of this stuff that I'm unthankful for about as well. But I'm thankful. Like at the
You're
same
still
time,
on the struggle bus,
but you're still on
baby.
the struggle bus because
Yeah.
all that's just building up.
Yeah.
So that way, you know, when it just gets bad enough that you can't hold everything anymore, then suddenly it all comes out, and it's like, no, you weren't actually free. You weren't actually grateful and thankful. Like part of choosing to be grateful is also like surrendering to God, letting go of the things that, like it's not just, oh, let me, and I don't mean this in an offensive way whatsoever, but like, not that you would be offended anyway,
I'm not.
but it's so much more than writing down a list of things you're grateful for. It's the step beyond that goes.
Although writing them down can be
Yes.
helpful because it's getting it farther from, it's getting it
Yes.
like further than just your brain. Like your brain can think it and that's nice, but when
Mm-hmm.
you write it, it's like, okay. And then like what he's saying, when
The
you
next
sit
step,
with it,
it's that looking at that and choosing, no, this is what matters. Not
And
all of
even,
the
like,
struggles and
yeah.
things. It's
Yeah.
these are the things that matter here. Like
and even
because-
like say something you're grateful for, or just think it in your head, like you're standing in your kitchen, you're washing your dishes, and you're thinking about how many things are negative in your life right now. So many negative things. Okay. Then you think, I'm washing dishes because we have food on the table. I'm washing dishes and I have hot water and I have soap and my kitchen's going to be so clean after this. And I'm washing my dishes right now because my baby is sleeping and I have some peace and quiet for a little bit. And you just sit there and take like a deep breath and like really sit into the gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden it's like, whoa! Like you open your eyes and like the sun is brighter outside.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, this is awesome, man. Like, and sometimes it's not like a huge kick,
Mm-hmm.
but most of the time it
Mm-hmm.
is actually that powerful. It's almost like a drug.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just so powerful. And it's not like on Thanksgiving Day, okay, everyone go around the table and tell me something you're thankful for, which is nice, but it's like sitting with it and really saturating in how grateful you are for, and really feeling it.
I feel like even
I
the
sound so woo-woo right now,
Even
but
the
I promise.
unbelieving world will tell you that perspective is huge.
Oh, 100%.
Like perspective is huge, but we have more than just a perspective. Like we have the truth. Like we have his perspective. That's so much bigger, and it's so much more powerful.
So, if you would like to come to the altar, we'll lay hands on, pray over you, and
Hey,
and
I still have some tea in this. We will anoint your
we
head.
will anoint you. I have some tea as well.
Yes.
And we will cover you with a blanket, and you can lay there until you're ready to get up and get off the struggle bus. So. He just kicked you guys if you weren't watching. I think that's good, honey.
Okay. So it's technically not halfway, but it is time for our hashtag not sponsored item of the day.
Ding, 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 ding.
Um,
I know what it is.
Oh, okay.
Hold
Go
on.
for it.
Ouch. Hold on, guys.
Oh, all right. Okay, hang on. Yes. A good choice.
These are our unsponsored sponsor. They are called water wipes. The world's purest baby wipes. 99% water and a drop of fruit extract. No artificial fragrance, parabens, or sulfates. Just 2 ingredients. Water and a drop of fruit extract. Created by a father, inspired by a daughter.
Wow, never actually read that before. It's kind of cool. But no, they're actually really awesome.
Basically,
this is such a parent ad,
this is such a parent ad, but like, think about your fresh, innocent baby's little booty. Do you really want to be putting fragrance, parabens, and sulfates on it? No, you do not. You
and
want
the skin
just
is so sweet and innocent. Yes.
straight from the womb.
Yep.
Okay, straight from heaven. You want to put parabens on that heaven baby butt? No.
Nope.
So, these are literally water with a drop of fruit extract. I think it's like, I forget what fruit it is. Fruity fruit. Grapefruit seed extract.
It's even better. It's not even...
It's antibacterial, I think.
Wow. Yeah, no, it is.
So, you can get
That's
these,
actually really good.
or you can get, there's some that have like coconut extract or something. They are so good, and they're actually wet. You know what I find with the ones that are not water wipes? They like weirdly dry out and become like this odd like tissue. So these are actually nice and wet. They will clean up the poopiest, stinkiest booties, and your baby will be happy. You will be happy. Try them on your own booty if you don't believe me. And that's all for this episode of Sponsored Not Sponsored.
They are tried and true. That's all I'm saying.
Ding, 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 ding.
So...
I mean, I feel like we could end right there, man.
Yeah, I think we could kind of end there. What's,
we could talk about our home gym.
Random... oh, that's true. Yeah, there's that. Oh, yeah, that's a good topic, too. Okay, I want to talk about this because it was just it just struck me as so interesting. And this is probably the most trendy.
By the way, you can find water wipes at Kroger, Amazon, Walmart, or where you normally get your groceries, except if you get your groceries at Aldi, and then you probably cannot get water wipes. So go to Walmart or Amazon.
This is probably the most trendy thing that we're going to talk about for a while. I have no idea. But the other night...
talk about politics.
No. The other night, my wife and I were watching our... whatever we were watching and relaxing. I think we were watching Dude Perfect or something like that.
Perfect.
We have 2 things we watch on YouTube. Actually, 3. Dude Perfect, Kara and Nate, and occasionally Bluey.
Why did you just out us like that?
We have a child. It's fine. So
sometimes we watch Bluey at night alone without our child.
Actually?
We did
Have
that
we?
the other night.
Oh,
We
okay.
like Bluey that much.
All right. So anyway, this video pops up of Mr. Beast, and we never watched Mr. Beast ever. Like I don't remember the last time I saw
think
him.
I've actually seen any of his videos besides this one.
So, I mean, we know who he is, and he does the things he does. He's been around for a while. Like, pretty much everyone knows who he is.
He basically broke YouTube and then took all the pieces, and the rest of us are left with the fragments.
Wow. I mean, in a way.
Okay,
Anyway,
We have
so he
nothing
has
against
this video where he's just, like, in Egypt going through all these pyramids and stuff, and we're just like, what is this video? And we click on it. And I literally was like... I don't know. I just, at that moment, I was like, we're in such an odd new, like...
Yes!
There was just that moment where I'm
so weird.
Like, this is so weird. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, if somebody went into the pyramids, it would be like this very, like, you know, down to earth, like, respectful, like, woo, like maybe documentary, something like da-da-da, there'd be all this music and stuff going in the background. But it was just like in the middle of this episode, which it was already like all over the place. You're like, what in the world?
It was the most crackhead episode.
In the middle of it,
I've
he's just
seen.
like, I'm thinking, part of me is like, wow, this is unique. But he's like, it's like, he's creating history here, and he's showing all this stuff.
Okay, but pause. The reason he's creating history is because these Egyptians are literally taking him into parts of the pyramid that have never been on film before.
As far as we understand, I mean, that's what they said.
That's what
anyway.
they said.
But then,
And of course, what they said
the
is probably
part
true.
that like hit me so odd was that halfway through the episode, he's just like, he just does an ad for his own toys in the middle of it, and I'm just like,
In front of the
you're
pyramid.
talking about like different footage and things that have never been seen, like crazy footage, and then suddenly it's like, here's a random toy that down the road no one will care about,
Little collectible.
like a little collectible, literally no one will care about or
it's like
even
it's
know.
literally little. It's like an inch big.
It's like Mr. Beast's version of a Happy Meal in
or a
in the
Hatchimal, like a Hatchimal.
yeah,
I
or
think.
something like in the middle of this thing, and I'm just like,
Don't forget about the part where he put a gold version of one of them into the pyramid
oh
and
yeah,
left it there.
yeah. Which
Underneath
at
the
the moment
pyramid.
I didn't realize what he put there. I just thought it was like cool gold something. I was like, wow, that's cool. And
Only
it was just
Mr.
like,
Beast would make a pure gold version of his own toys. But anyway.
well, I mean, yeah, I mean most people do that at some point, but
Oh, okay.
if it's a big deal, but
It's just a weird world, man.
it's a weird world. That was my takeaway. I was like, I mean, at the same time, it's not like it's inherently bad. Like,
No, it's
there's
just
just new
weird.
styles of things, but
And
it was just
well,
so
it might not be bad, but I don't really like
different.
it. I don't really like it though. It feels okay, if I'm going to be really picky and like critique him, it felt like yes, he was very excited and very like he thought it was really really super cool. But the attitude
Excuse me.
of all of the guys with him and like just the attitude of them like adventuring into the pyramid.
I mean, they were kind of
felt-
just being themselves, though.
Okay, but when you're filming in a 4,000-year-old structure that is one of the wonders of the world for the first time, that's never seen the light of day, and you're like goofing off and like to me it was like it's not holy, but it's like sacred kind of like those, like the world doesn't have
It's history.
too many super
Yeah.
duper old things like that are still standing.
It feels
it
like
almost
someone
felt wrong.
coloring in an ancient history book or something, to some extent, or like treating it like, I don't know. It's like it's a piece of history. Like there should be some kind of like,
Well, and like it would like
I don't know.
yeah, it didn't feel right. Something about it was like, this is just
But
weird.
on the flip side of that though, like it also kind of
It felt like if someone would put on a Hawaiian outfit and go into the catacombs and like dance around for a while. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of what it felt like.
there was a little, I get that.
But anyway, but we
it's-
did learn a lot and it was cool.
It was
but it just felt a little
interesting
weird.
too, because it, on the flip side of that though, it did also make it a little bit like real, like almost
Yeah,
like, oh yeah,
tangible.
these are just big stone
Yeah.
structures.
Yeah.
But I think, and that's the part where I'm a little divided. I'm like, is that okay or is that not okay? Like
I know.
I kind of appreciated a very like just kind of real like.
Here's
oh.
the question.
But then it almost is on the flip side of that. It's almost like, yeah, but did I want the pyramids to be that way? Like,
Yeah,
like,
should everything be super tangible?
what do you mean?
Like social media and the world being connected by the internet makes everything super tangible. So if you want to know what the inside of the pyramids look like, you can just go click on Mr. Beast's video and watch exactly what it is. Like, doesn't it take away the mystery and the imagination that used to be in the world when you
Yeah.
can just know everything? You can just know everything. You can literally learn whatever it is you don't know on the internet at any time and in any place. You can just know. There's like that mystery and that I wonder what that's like. It's pretty much not there because
It's like the difference between like, okay, I'm gonna hike this mountain so that I can see the view, or I can click on this video and see what the view looks like, and then be like, is that worth hiking up the hill to see?
yeah.
It's
And
not.
then if you would have done the hike, who knows what would have happened?
Yeah,
You could have been mauled by a bear.
it's not helpful. But okay, in addition to this though, there it is interesting because especially with all the
You could
the
have seen a
ability
bear.
to
Sorry, that
use
was-
drones and all of the different things that you have nowadays, like you have the ability to see things in ways that it's almost like they were never meant to be seen, if that makes sense. Like almost like a movie, like it's meant to be seen, or a stage play, right? It's meant to be seen from a certain angle. Like there's stuff going on the behind the scenes and different stuff. Like it's not, you're not meant to see that. It's all orchestrated in a way that you experience it a certain way. And a lot of these things are built like Mount Rushmore, for example, or different things, like they were built in a way to be seen from a distance and to be experienced that way. Whereas like, and I'm just kind of using it as an example because I've been there before. Whereas like someone could just kind of zoom in on it with a camera and make it just feel small and weird, and then it would almost take away from the experience of being there and seeing it from a distance, because it was never meant to be seen that way. And like kind of like when there's a play, there's all kinds of stuff going behind the scene that if you were to see, just turn your angle just a certain amount, suddenly it would be like, oh, well, that's kind of lame. That's kind of weird, you know. And so I think there are some things in the world that are just not meant to be experienced, like from a 10,000-foot high speed like view. Like they're meant to be, yeah. But
That's so good,
I mean,
honey.
how defining what that level is, like I don't know. But I think taking the time to respect like things, like I think that's always important. It's kind of like going back to what we were saying earlier. There's something about slowing down and appreciating that I think is always important, especially now in a very fast-paced world. Like Mr. Beast's video. I mean, it was fairly long-ish, but still, they covered so much ground so
It was
fast.
20 minutes. It was like 20 minutes.
Was
and
it
like
really only
we
20
saw
minutes?
the pyramids.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know.
Like at the end, it's like,
Yeah. It's just kind of, I feel like there's just something missed there a little bit.
yeah.
But I don't know. So,
Don't forget to slow down.
yeah.
Like, we pretty much don't know how to do that as a society anymore. So learn how to do it. And just do it.
We're not meant to go 1,000 miles per hour.
No.
Like,
take some
we're just
deep
not.
breaths. Like do some breathing.
There's so
breathing.
much science behind. Just look it up about slowing down, breathing, giving your mind time to think or to rest or to just not. Like, there's so much there because we were meant to, well, yeah, we just weren't meant for the speed in which things.
And we weren't meant to consume
so
much. But that's another topic.
That was another topic for another time. But I think this has been a good episode, and we will leave you at that. Lots of ground covered in this episode. Hope you guys enjoy. You can find us if you haven't already. Go to YouTube. You can see us there. And if you're on YouTube and you're like, all right, done seeing their face, then alternatively,
We don't blame you.
You got Spotify and Apple Podcast.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to look at his face. I mean, I could look at it all day.
It's probably because they saw a Mr. Beast video about it and it was too fast, and they were just like, "Oh, I don't know."
About your face? Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, connect.
Sorry, that was that
I
kind
connect.
of that died. Yep. All right, we're gonna end it there. You guys have a good one. Bye.
Love you. Bye. Subscribe.